Start.
Hi everyone. So today was the second day of the International Association of Feminist Economists 30th Annual Conference, and you can see we're standing in front of the UN office in Geneva, and the reason we chose this place to talk to you about today's deliberations and some of our key takeaways from today is because today's day was entirely about questioning institutions. Questioning whether all our international organizations, whether our international superstructures, if you will, are actually encouraging, structural bias against women. And I think a number of key insights came out around those themes today. The first one is that there are a lot of international institutions now which are coming out with dedicated gender mainstreaming strategies. But do these strategies go far enough? Is the amount of money that's allocated for implementing these strategies sufficient? These are really the kind of questions that we deliberated today. And I think there were differing views. On one side, there were people who said, isn't it good that we at least have these gender mainstreaming strategies? And on the other hand, you had people saying, we need to reject these strategies. They are seeing everything from a top-down perspective. They're not actually tailored to our needs, especially in the developing world. Where do I fall? I'm a little bit leaning towards this side where I say that, I'm quite glad that these strategies exist because I'm part of a lot of programs with the international organizations where we are actively gender mainstreaming, working with, governments to implement these programs. So I'm a little bit on the camp which says I'm glad to have the strategies, but I do recognize that we need to continue doing more and more. So that's the first key takeaway of today. What is the role of a feminist economist when it comes to gender mainstreaming strategies at international organizations? The second key takeaway from today is really around the biases that staff within these organizations may carry, and how can we dispel those biases, how can we engage with the staff. And I think today the big message that came out of the conference was we need to make a lot of noise, and we need to make a lot of noise to make people within these organizations question their priorities and question whether they want to continue using the old methods or switch to newer methods which are more gender responsive and more egalitarian, more responsive towards income inequities and those sort of measurement issues. So I think that's something on which there was a lot of agreement. So that was great. And the third session, which I felt was very, very interesting, and we had a lot of stars like Geetika come to that session, was really questioning the construct of the GDP itself. That is the GDP really the right measure to measure economic progress? Should we be looking at other indicators? The suggestion from Dr. Ghosh is, of course, to look at a dashboard of indicators, look at indicators which measure employment, which measure food access, which measure nutrition, and a host of other development indicators on a regular basis to complement GDP. There are others who also talk about the need for post-GDP measurement or alternative to GDP measurement being more climate responsive, being more anti-colonial, taking into account non-racist principles. These are very important considerations. We of course have to see what kind of measurement errors are really going to come up with this approach. So with that, the three key takeaways from today, day 2. Number 1, we need to question our institutions. Number 2, we need to question the kind of measures that we're using. And number 3, we need to come up with alternatives. And for all of this, we need to make a lot of noise. And that's what we're doing here at the IAFFE. Thank you, and see you tomorrow for day 3, which is the last day. Thank you.